Hey there, Tommaso Zilio of musictheoryforguitar.com for another music theory pill. Today I want to talk with you about a great way I found to play a blues chord progression or a jazz blues chord progression using as little notes, as few notes as possible. How do we do that? First of all, we take our standard, we imagine we are going to play a blues in A. There is the chord of A7, the chord of D7, the chord of E7 in a specific order, the usual 12 bar blues progression. Now, what gives that specific sound to the A7th chord, or on any 7th chord, dominant 7th chord for that matter? It's the fact that there is a specific interval between the two of the other notes, of the notes of the chord. A7 is A, C sharp, E, and G. Between C sharp, which is the third of the chord, and G, which is the 7th, there is an interval called a tritone, or diminished fifth. And it's this. That's C sharp, and that's G. Or I can play the G, and C sharp, it's the same. See, it's not a very pleasant interval. This interval is actually pretty famous because in classical music it creates so many problems that it became known as the interval of the devil. But now, in modern times, we are not afraid to do a bit of advanced demonology and actually use this interval to play some music. The idea is this. Rather than play the full A7 chord, I just play its tritone. C sharp and G. And I do the same for all the other chords in the progression, for D7 and for E7. Now you will see this becomes incredibly easy to play because the tritone of A7 is again this C sharp and this G sharp here. I'm on the 3rd and 4th string and I'm playing the 6th fret on the 3rd string and the 5th fret on the 4th string. When I want to play a tritone for D7, I just need to move this down a fret. How is that possible? Because the notes of D7 are D, F sharp, A, C. And the tritone is between the note F sharp, 4th fret on the 4th string, and C, 5th fret on the 3rd string. And when I want to play E7, I just need to go up 1 fret from the position for A7, so essentially frets 6 and 7, because the notes of E7 are E, G sharp, B, and D, and the tritone is between the note G sharp, 6th fret on the 4th string, and D, 7th fret on the 3rd string. So my blues progression becomes this. And so on and so forth. Okay? Now, I have this little unity and it's really easy to play. If you have a bass player, it's great because the bass player is going to play all the bass of the notes and be free of do whatever you want, do a walking bass or other things, and you will just play the two notes that give the flavor to the whole progression. And it's just great to do that. But if you want to play the bass, well, that you can. You can play those two and the bass of A, you can play those two and the bass of D. And the same for E. What happens if you do this? You play the full progression, it's this. A7, D7, A7, and again D7, and A7, and then E7, D7, A7, E7. Good. Now that you have this little core system going, if you want, you can add some extra notes. So here, on this A, I can add this F sharp note here. This makes it an A7 add 6th. You don't need to know the name. You can just fish around and find a note you like. The important thing here is not to know what are the names of those chords. That's useful if you're reading a score or communicating with other people, but if you're just playing by yourself, for instance, you just find something you like. You don't need to know the name. Just experiment, just hear that you can play this, and this for D. How do I know what I like? Well, I tried a lot. Of course, I know how to name all of those chords. But the idea is this. I'm simply playing the tritone specific to every one of the 7 chords, the bass of this chord, and then I'm playing an extra note on the second string, which can be it can be any note I like. Any note I like. In fact, I can play this a note on the first string if I want instead. See? As long as I like it, it's good. So, what you're doing right now is, rather than playing using patterns of chord you already have learned, you just find the sound you want. And that, believe me, is liberating. Okay? In the next installment of the Music Theory Pills, we're going to see how to expand even more on this system, but for now, just find your core tritone for the blues progression you want to play, add the bass, add an extra note, and see what's happening. And next time I'm going to give you another trick to make this even better. Enjoy!